When I say the word coding, what pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably this wall of super complicated, intimidating text that just feels impossible to understand. But what if I told you there's a different way to do it? A way to build and create and program that feels a whole lot less like a brutal exam and way more like playing. So over on the left, you've got the old way, right? That wall of text we were just picturing. But look at the right. That is Scratch. It totally flips the script. It turns coding from something you have to type perfectly into something you can actually build and see. It's colorful, it's hands-on, and honestly, it's a creative playground where pretty much anyone can start telling a computer exactly what to do. So in this explainer, we're going to go on a little journey together. First, we'll check out this new kind of playground. Then, we'll figure out how to bring characters to life, make our world interactive, and even give our game a brain. After that, we'll see how you make that huge leap from just a player to a real creator. And we'll wrap up by uncovering the real power behind all of this. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Coding's New Playground. This is where the adventure really begins, with the one big idea that makes Scratch so completely different from everything else. So what's the big secret? It's actually genius in its simplicity. The folks at MIT who created Scratch wanted you to snap together these colorful blocks, where each block is a command. It's literally like you're building with digital Legos. And what this does is it completely removes that fear of making a typo or a syntax error. It lets you jump right into being creative and thinking logically. Okay, so now that we get the why behind Scratch, let's get into the how. Welcome to Section 2, Bringing Characters to Life. You know, every story, every game, it needs two basic things: a cast of characters and a setting. This is where we meet the tools to make them. In the Scratch universe, your characters and objects are called sprites, and the scenes or stages they live in are called backdrops. You can pick from a massive library of them, or, if you're feeling artsy, you can even draw your very own. These are the absolute essentials, your actors and your stage, that are going to bring your ideas to life. And just look how easy it is to get going. Seriously, you pick a sprite, let's say the iconic Scratch Cat. You pick a backdrop, maybe a park. Then you grab a single command block, something like move 10 steps, and just snap it on. Click that little green flag and boom, your character is alive and moving. That instant result is what's so cool about Scratch. It makes you want to keep trying new things. All right, moving on to Section 3, Making Your World Interactive. This is where things get really fun. I mean, it's one thing to watch a character do something on its own. It's a whole other level when you can make it react to you. So how do you make a project interactive? Well, you use something called events, and you can just think of them as magic triggers. An event could be you clicking the mouse, or pressing a key on the keyboard, or even one character bumping into another. These triggers are what pull a player into the world you've built and let them actually control what happens. This idea of triggers leads us right to another huge concept in programming: conditional statements. They're basically the brains of the operation, the decision makers. The absolute best way to get it is the raincoat rule. It's simple. If it is raining outside, then you wear a raincoat. In Scratch, he built that exact same logic. If the spacebar is pressed, then the character jumps. It's a simple if-then rule that makes your world feel smart and alive. So that brings us right into Section 4, Giving Your Game a Brain. I mean, really think about it. When you're playing a game, how does it keep track of your score? How does it know you have 2 lives left instead of 3? Your creation needs some kind of memory, right? A way to store information and change it as the game goes on. The answer is something called variables. The easiest way to picture them is as little storage boxes inside your program. You can make a box and label it score. You can make another one and label it lives. Then you can use other command blocks to add a point to the score box or take one away from the lives box. And just like that, your game has a memory. And what about stuff you want to happen again and again? Like, say, an enemy walking back and forth forever. You don't want to have to write out the code hundreds of times. For that, you use a loop. They really are like little magic spells for repetition that save you a ton of time and keep your project looking neat. And all of this brings us to Section 5, from player to creator. We've gathered all the tools, we've learned all the spells. Now it's time to put it all together and build something incredible. So check it out. Here are the basic ingredients for a game. And guess what? We've already learned about every single one of them. You need a goal, like catching a mouse. You need interactive controls, which we build with events. You need rules, which we make with conditionals. You need a score or lives, which we handle with variables. And you need repetitive action, which is perfect for loops. Throw in some sound and music, and congratulations, you've officially gone from just a player to a game developer. But here's the really cool part. The journey doesn't end with your own game. Scratch is this massive global community. You can share your creations, you can play what other people have made, and you can even remix their projects. That means you can take a game someone else built, look under the hood at their code, and then add your own ideas to it. It's all about creating and learning together. And that brings us to our last section, the real power of Scratch. Because at the end of the day, this isn't really just about learning to program a computer. It's about something way, way big. The real treasure here, the thing you really get from using Scratch, is a whole new way of thinking. You're not just snapping blocks together. You're learning how to break down complex problems. You're teaching yourself to think logically. You're finding new ways to tell stories and be creative. You're building confidence with technology and learning how to work with others. These are skills that are, frankly, crucial for anybody, no matter what you end up doing in life. So if we accept this idea that coding is the new literacy, a whole new way for people to express themselves, then tools like Scratch aren't just teaching programming. They're giving an entire generation a powerful new voice. And that kind of leaves us with one really fascinating question to chew on. What kind of stories are they going to tell?